You wouldn't take your wallet out in a shady part of town and start flashing your money around, right? Would you? I wouldn't. Well, that's what you do with your data every time you use public Wi-Fi. I use public Wi-Fi all the time, especially when I'm traveling.
Well, if you do, you certainly need to be on ExpressVPN. Did you know your data can be sold at $1,000 per person, and people can hack on to unsecured networks to steal your data and give it to bad people? Don't do that. We all know why we love ExpressVPN. There's many reasons for travelers also. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/ATM. That's expressvpn.com/ATM to find out how you can get 4 extra months for our listeners. Good on them. expressvpn.com/ATM. Hello, everybody. Welcome to At This Moment. And at this moment, we are 2 friends in 2 different hotel rooms in 2 different cities in Europe. I'm in Amsterdam, and thank you for everyone who came to see my show. And Jim, you are?
I'm in Bucharest, and thank you for everyone who's coming to see my show tomorrow. Look, the dates don't stop here. I've got, at the end of this tour, December 12th, come and see me in Dublin at the 3 Arena. There's still tickets available for that.
I'll stop you there, Jimmy boy. It's not the 12th. It is that would be the 14th that you can see Jim at the 3 Arena. The 14th. The 12th is my extra show in Amsterdam. So you're going to be in Dublin enjoying yourself there, and I'm going to be performing in Amsterdam. You're going to be in Dublin. So tickets available for all of those at jimjefferies.com. That's where all the tickets are, and amosgill.com.
New York in January. Me and Amos will be performing in New York at the Beacon Theatre in January.
But now we have a podcast where we talk about everything in the news. We talk about Pete Hegseth's bizarre tactics in the ocean against Venezuela. We talk about future war. We talk about the new IRA, speaking of Ireland, and a host of other interesting topics to get Jim fired from his game show, as is always the challenge week in, week out.
What? What?
That's my...
You can't say things up top, then people will listen to the whole podcast.
Enjoy.
Hello.
Hey. Your internet's shit again.
What's wrong with my internet?
I don't know. It's not on the level. You're traveling with your son's iPad from when Steve Jobs was still alive.
This is my iPad, and this was the top iPad you could get at the time. iPad 1.
It's like you log in with your son's email. You don't take this seriously.
Look, my name's in the corner. I changed the name.
You used to say Hank, like you've taken his fucking school equipment so you can cobble together this podcast. We're both in a hotel room. We look like 2 gay lovers that are catching up while on the road trying to manage our difficult romance and careers.
I tell you what, if you watch Two Limb Policy, where I talk about Hitler face, and I say that I grow my facial hair out over the tour, and then I shave it in a Hitler moustache when I get back.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I will be Hitler for Christmas. You mark my words, I'll be Hitler for Christmas. At the moment, I'm in Bucharest, and Bucharest, I didn't know this, but they actually had Churchill gave Romania to Stalin on a napkin. He actually signed a thing on a napkin to actually go, there you go, you can have that, because Churchill wanted Greece. Could have gone either way for those countries.
You'd go for Greece over Bucharest. I don't want to talk shit before we get there and perform. I've spent a lovely month in 2 days in Bucharest. I had a rough time there getting my visa, but holy hell, it's scarred by the communism, isn't it?
What? Yeah, yeah. And still, I'll tell you this about Eastern Bloc countries that have got communist backgrounds. You know, maybe they didn't have a lot. Maybe they had to live under communism, but they did find spray paint. Wherever they can, they've found a can of spray paint. Cunts will tag something in any culture. Any culture you got, there'll be a cunt that'll write a word on a wall.
They got neoclassical architecture that's like, I've never seen that, like proper government buildings, like beautiful Roman-style buildings just tagged up with Romanian swear words. They've also got men like trolls and women like supermodels.
Yeah, I always think that about these cultures that have because the men are necklace and sort of like that. But you know what they love in Romania? They love a name brand. They love it just to say Gucci across the chest. That's as happy as they can be. I was on a plane coming from London to Bucharest, so everyone who was doing that flight had their shopping bags. Like, fucking, here we go. You know what I mean? And it was all Louis Vuitton and all that stuff. And it's not subtle statement pieces. It's just as big as the name can get. over any
Mate,
part.
you know how Europeans always come to America? Or they always talk about Americans, and Europeans are always like, you can always tell when you see an American. Americans stand out like a sore thumb. And it's like, yeah, you blend in with your skin tight Armani exchange shirt and your Ferrari shoes, don't you, buddy? I mean, come on.
Well, now my wife's trying to buy an item of clothing, and we were like, oh, can we get the tax free at the airport? And the lady's like, it does not make difference because with tariffs, it's actually more expensive to take it from here and to bring it in. You're like, fucking tariffs. They're fucking us.
Well, Jim, that brings us to our first topic. There's a new tariff.
America. It's hard to get into America.
There's a new tariff on cocaine because Venezuela is getting blown the fuck up. And Pete Hegseth, the sociopath, is out there parading about blowing off the survivors. What happened to the survivors? We finished them off.
Well, that was the thing. So one of the boats gets bombed, and it gets bombed. Now, first of all, is this going to stop cocaine getting into the country? We've been at a war with drugs since the 1980s and before that, the official war with drugs, and we've tried longer prison sentences. We've tried fucking blocking the people from coming in. We've tried, all these different things, and none of it's worked. Although we haven't tried just blowing them the fuck up, right? So if you were a Venezuelan or a South American drug smuggler who got onto the boats, do you think you'd be getting onto a boat this week, or you'd roll the dice?
I might opt for shoving a few balloons into my anus and taking a plane.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They haven't hit anything out of the sky yet. Stop with the boats.
Bad week to be a Venezuelan wakeboarder. Hard to get anyone to believe you.
Like they should dress something up. Like, remember they used to have those boat races for Red Bull? You know what I mean? Just like try to make a course there and act like it's a sport they're doing. But
I don't like the idea of just extrajudicially blowing the boats up and then when they're floating, going and finishing them off like movie villains.
No, this is the whole thing. There has to be due course. You don't have official information on this thing. And if you have got official information on them, they still deserve their day in court. I understand if you're saying they're a threat to the country, you blow them up. Okay, fine. I'm on the fence whether I like that or don't like that. But
this is why it's really funny is because at the same time, Donald Trump just freed the ex-president of Honduras who was linked to narco trafficking and he's freed. And then we're also fighting this war against Venezuela. Now, it just so happens, are you ready for this? Obviously, Venezuela has one of the biggest oil deposits on the planet. So is there a chance that we're only wanting regime change because there's valuable resources there? Is it actually that the cocaine and the drug smuggling is a front for why we want to...
Colombians or the Argentinians, run after any of them, just the Venezuela. But the thing is, so he blows up the bomb and then a couple of them were hanging onto some shrapnel in the water, which now that's a war crime. You can't, in any war, the Nazis didn't, no one did this, right? If you're waving the white flag and you've given up and you're just in a thing, you're meant to arrest them, put them in prison. It's just murder at that stage. Am I just a hippie, am I?
Yeah, bloody hippie, mate. You finish him off with a helicopter. And Pete Hegseth himself, did you see he posted the cartoon of the cartoon turtle Franklin finishing people off with a bazooka? It's fucking psychotic, man.
Now,
do you remember when I was like, the Trump administration, I want them to come in so we can have a time of peace. I'm a peacenik. And then the Department of Defense has Pete Hegseth wearing an American Lion suit, posting cartoon pictures of turtles massacring people in the water. Woo!
Right. We have to do this every few weeks because you were very pro-Trump and you were happy when Trump got voted in. How's it going? How do you think it's going? Give it a rating. What do you reckon?
So good. So well, I think the swamp is. I think the swamp has been drained. We're going to do this all the
fucking time, freezing out the bloody.
This is you, not me. I bought the new equipment. I bought this fucking microphone. I bought this Focusrite machine that I have to carry around. I've even brought microphones for you when we podcast next in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, when are you getting here tomorrow?
I get here at 2 p.m.
We should podcast then. If this is going to do that the whole time. We just tweet out to the people it's going to be a day late because you're frozen again now. Oh, no, that was just your fat wog face just fucking...
I let people see what happens behind the scenes. So, this is what I want to talk about with the drug running excuse. And then, so I know Venezuelan friends. Do you have Venezuelan friends?
No, I don't. I have a couple of Argentinians that I'm friendly with after the snake. That's my only South American friends.
You've started to really sound like an American. Do you know anyone from Venezuela? I know somebody from Chile.
Yeah, exactly. I once offended a Brazilian woman on a plane. No, I don't have any. Do you have Venezuelan friends?
I have a very close Venezuelan friend. Yes. Have I ever told you about the comedian Ivan Aristeguieta?
No, but I hate.
He did your show.
Hate when you do the accent on people's names because you have the most yobbo fucking voice. And Evandas you're the same. You're the same as a Latino weatherwoman. And my name is Olivia Rodriguez. Good night.
Rodriguez. Yeah, like in the World Cup when they go like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
No, Ivan Aristeguieta, he performed on your show, Jim Jefferies and Friends. So,
yes, I do know him. I do know him. Fucking, you set me up there, you cunt.
No, but you don't know him. You don't know him like a...
on that show. Good friends of mine.
You don't know him how I know him. So I tell you, Ivan, I met him. He came to Adelaide.
It's very funny.
Like 12, 13 years ago. So I was like beginning comedy. And he came down to an open mic and he was electric. And I was like, man, this guy from Venezuela was like way too advanced for an open micer. And I looked him up on Twitter and he had a few 100,000 followers. And it turned out he was a semi-famous comedian and radio broadcaster in Venezuela, but under the Hugo Chavez dictatorship had been purged out of the country and had to get the fuck out of there because he was making jokes about the government. And so he came to Australia and became a chef. And then he had the longing for comedy again. So he came back and translated his comedy into English and very quickly became quite famous in Australia because he's just very good. But he would always talk to me about the Chavez government. And, you know, the Chavez government came into what was an extremely rich, oil-rich country, you know, put forward their socialist and then communist reforms. Chavez died. Maduro came. It's a full dictatorship. There's breadlines. People are eating cats, dogs to survive. Like, the country's been run into the fucking turf. So I know a lot of Venezuelans that would be very happy to see the back of Maduro because he lost an election last year and obviously ignored it. And that woman became the Nobel Peace Prize.
I respect that he ignored the lost election. He's got to have some bread.
Yeah, well, he's like, sorry for you, my friend. You don't have quite the military that I have. But what's happened is because he's ignored the military, I was reading about this today. So in order to have power, so Hugo Chavez was like the proper leader, a lot of support from the military. He's dead. Then Maduro takes over, gets rid of his enemies. He was a bus driver, man. It's like a bus driver and a truck driver and a union delegate that now has
the start of something. I've been a waiter. It doesn't take away from my comedy career. I've sold mobile phones. I've done bartending.
I'm just saying he wasn't like Chavez was a general, I believe. You know, so he had the military, and these tin pot dictatorships exist by the military saying who wins. So what Chavez did was he had the strength, but when Maduro came in, I was reading about it today. Apparently, in order to survive, he's just said, "You guys can be drug traffickers." Like, I don't give a fuck. So supposedly a lot of the Venezuelan high-up generals use Venezuelan equipment to smuggle drugs. And that's how they've enriched themselves. They've stolen a lot of the wealth of the country. So that's why they say, you know, Nicolas Maduro is the head of like a cartel. But it's the cartel to say he stays in power mostly. Because otherwise these generals would just fuck him off. Because he's not exactly a military man, right? And so when you look at it though, I love how we go, if you look on Twitter, every American's saying, we're only killing them because of the oil. As though that's like a hidden point. And it's like, yeah, this is the only time in history where you have to reverse engineer.
Hang out again. All right, you're back.
I was saying this is the only... This is the only time... This is the only time in history where you have to like reverse engineer for your people some plausible, noble reason. Like, we have to topple the dictator and restore democracy. When we all know, yes, they want to go in for the oil money. But Americans are like, fuck that. But in any other era, you'd be like, my government's going to steal resources to make us richer? That's what we want, baby. Like, do you know what I mean? Only in this period of history, like the Romans weren't like, hey, we're going to go We're going to go into the Ottomans.
You think if the Romans had X and they had Facebook and they had Instagram, that the people wouldn't have spoken out against fucking Caesar being a prick or whatever? Of course they would have. It's just
No, but I think they would have been like, Caesar just brought home so many slaves. He's the fucking man. How much gold did we steal from Egypt?
You don't think there would be a couple of people who'd write like this, like one comment at the bottom, I think slaves are wrong. You don't think that comment would come?
Yeah, there would have been a few people like, Carthage did not deserve what it got. They had a noble culture, and for us to commit a genocide against the Carthaginians is disgusting, and I'm posting a black square. Of course they would have. But most people would have been happy that they had an army and a dictator that was able to get them resources to make their lives better. But we put on this song and dance like, it's terrible.
I think it's just because we hear everything that everyone says. I think that's all. The only difference. The only difference. You would have had the same problems before.
Like, because you can't. No one on TV, even on Fox, would dare say, "How good's this going to be for gas prices?" No one's going to say.
Although, can we say this? And Americans don't know this, but gas prices in America are pretty good. They're pretty good in comparison to the UK and Australia. They're pretty good, But
yeah, what I mean, particularly in Texas, it was like $2 a gallon. It always makes me laugh that we complain about the price of gas. Now, think about gas. It is fossils on the bottom of a seabed that have been there for millions of years that we then have to invent technology to suck out of the ground to get into tankers to be refined. And then we have to start illegal wars and commit a genocide in order to have access to it. And if it's more than $3, the president loses his job.
It's cheaper than milk. And milk, we're like this. Gas, we got machines all day. Just burying into the earth, and then we go, can you believe these prices of this thing that is running out?
Yeah. I just paid $2.50 for a gallon of fuel that powers my car, and I'm angry about it, but I did just buy a Red Bull for 375 mils for $5.99, and I'm perfectly content.
Yeah, no. I think gasoline is good value.
There's never been a better. Now, you couldn't win an election on that, but if you're just like, you ungrateful fucks.
Yeah. I'm with you. What other news?
What other news? So anyway, my point is that now your cocaine will probably be more expensive, but no one does cocaine anyway. It's the fentanyl.
Yeah, I don't take cocaine anymore, so that's not going to bother me. And when I was doing it, it was still at a reasonable price. And also, welcome to Australia. Australia's already very expensive with the drugs, so America doesn't know how good they've got it. But the fentanyl's killed that drug off anyway. It's a dirty fucking drug now. They bloody ruined it. People were having a good time for a long time, and then the fuckwits ruined it. Like, when you're cutting drugs, don't cut it with fentanyl. Just put a bit of fucking Panadol in there, or ibuprofen, or don't put ibuprofen in there or Panadol, because then it'll give the kids autism for the mums who are using cocaine. You don't want that.
This is the long game of China, though. So China puts they bring the fentanyl in, and we got them addicted to opium in the opium wars. So they're just returning a favor from a few hundred years ago.
You don't addicted to fentanyl, you just die. No, there's no fentanyl addicts, is there?
Oh yeah, they're out there. Have you been to San Francisco?
That's people who are addicted to Oxycontin and all that type of stuff, right? But
so I've just performed in Amsterdam. That's why I should say you're in your hotel room in Bucharest. I'm in my hotel room in Amsterdam. We're about to meet up again.
We meet tomorrow.
Since you've walked around in Europe, you don't see homeless fentanyl addicts like you do back in the States.
What, you mean just junkies? They're not just fentanyl.
Just like junkie. I don't see that many junkies kicking about.
Yeah, it's the cold. No, well, no, because they have social services and they shooting galleries and things like that. No, of course, there's less of them. Well, maybe they just kill them. Who knows?
I've never seen, like, America has those guys on Trank. That's the drug of choice there. Have you seen Trank?
What is Trank? What is this, and how do I get some?
We should do an episode where Jim's on Trank. Here we go.
Trank is Trank what's the legal one that people want to advertise on podcasts?
That's Kratom.
Kratom offered to advertise on our podcast, and I was like, I don't know about Kratom. It feels like, because back in the day they used to advertise vapes because it was an alternative to give up cigarettes. and everyone's like, I have an electronic cigarette. And they were a big podcast selling thing. They were advertising on radio long after advertising cigarettes had been banned. And so I feel like, what's this new one called? I reckon that's going to get banned soon.
Kratom is like, I think it's like a synthetic opiate, right? Or it might have even come from, it might be a derivative of CBD. That's like you take so many of them that it becomes like oxy.
Yes, I think if you really hammer it, you can get something out of it.
So if Trank is xylazine, which is a vet tranquilizer that has been found in some illicit drug supplies, Trank slows heart rate, breathing, blood pressure to dangerously low levels. So this is dog pills, basically.
Anytime there's a drug that we pump into an animal, whether it be ketamine, steroids, or Trank, a human will go, what are you putting in that animal over there? What does it do? I'll have a go.
Of course.
There hasn't been one person that goes and gone, I'll have a go. If there's fucking tablets to get rid of worms, whatever, we'll take them.
You'd have to imagine, if you're a hardcore junkie, it'd be amazing to break into the vet clinic at SeaWorld and find what they give the whales for anxiety. Dude, whale medication or bears? Like the zoo must be the best drugs in the world. Hardcore cat.
Is there an experience? Is there a thing, a euphoria that we haven't got a drug for yet? Like we've got ecstasy to make us feel all tingly and all that type of good, loving. MDMA does that. Then you got ketamine to make you fucking feel sedated and all that type of stuff, and then still have the thing. Then you've got actual painkillers. Then you've got all the different things. Is there a market, erection tablets, right? Is there an activity that we haven't got a tablet for yet that you want to have come into play?
Well, yeah. There's pills if you're just addicted to like vomiting, like you want to empty out your stomach?
I just want something that I can take, and I've tried it with weed, but something that I can take where I can watch programs that my wife enjoys. Just like I'm going to watch 4 hours.
I thought that was weed.
It stopped working. It stopped working. I can see through tricks. You know what weed's good for? Weed's good for watching children's programs. If you want to sit down with your 4-year-old, okay, we've got to talk about my 4-year-old. So I'm a 4-year-old.
Well, you keep going because I want to. Before you get into that, I do want to finish this. I do have an idea of what you're talking about. Remember, I said this to you, and I said we have to try. So you take pills for intolerance to milk. And I was saying, how long will it be before they invent like other intolerance pills? So it's like, you're racist, so you take a pill because you're going to be around black people.
Well, it's not.
And it stops you being intolerant. No, whatever your race is, you're like, look, I've got a Chinese girlfriend and granddad's not going to be happy with that. Can you please put a pill in his soup?
So
otherwise he's going to.
What you're saying is, before anybody flies, if they're of a race that's a bit questionable, we give them the pill so that they have a change of heart when they're on the plane.
It just stops you from hating other races.
The tolerance tablet.
The tolerance tablet. Yeah, racial tolerance. Because I always said that about racial tolerance is a funny word, because when they say you have tolerance, that means you had to build a tolerance, which means the first time you saw a black person, you were like, but then after like years of exposure, you're like, I'm good with it now. That's what tolerance suggests, because it's something that you wouldn't tolerate. That's why I think it's not a very good term. I'm very racially tolerant. It's like, so you weren't once?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I tolerate people.
Yeah, I had a Chinese guy come over once. I got itchy, but I'm all good with it now.
I'm a very good person. I tolerate others. Tolerate.
Tolerate is not a good thing. It's a very loaded term.
I've literally said that sentence before. I tolerate others. Tolerate. Put up with them.
I love them. No, I tolerate it.
So my little boy is at the moment, he thinks the funniest thing in the world is body movements, right? He thinks poo and wee. That's where a 4-year-old keeps their comedy, right? Poo and wee. Anyway, he's always like, I'm going to poo on mummy. I'm going to pee on daddy, like this, right? He says these things like that's his big edgy bit of comedy.
He says he's going to literally like poo on you or something.
Yeah, he just says it. That's what he thinks he's being edgy. It's like
I know, but that's I hear of like but actually saying they're going to do it too, he is an edgy kid, man. He always has been. He's a cheeky little
out there.
He's a cheeky little bastard.
Face it. Okay, yeah, I don't know what you said, but I get the gist, right? So he says he's gonna poo and wee and all that stuff. So this morning he says to his mother, he goes, "I'm gonna pee on mommy," and she's like, "Don't do that. Oh, no one wants me pee." Then he stood up. He stood up next to her, pulled his pants down, and pissed on her.
What?
Yeah, he fucking pissed on his mum.
And we're talking about Hank, obviously.
No. The 4-year-old. The 4-year-old.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. And the thing is, my wife's like this. Well, what are you going to do about it? Like this. Well, I'm not in the same country as him. This is really a you discipline moment. You have to take control of this moment. I go, what did you do? And she goes, I was in too much shock to say anything. I just went to the bathroom. And I'm like, well, he's got to be grounded or something. There's got to be what's the official punishment you get for pissing on your mother?
Like, honestly, man, that's the kind of, at 4, piss on your mum. That's like you'll get a nickname for the rest of your life in the family for that. At his 21st, it's like, he pissed on his mother once. Not while a nappy. Like, you can piss on your mum in a nappy change, but if you're pulling your own pants down.
Oh yeah. No, he's fully toilet trained. I want to add to this. This wasn't a bladder. This wasn't a moment of whatever. He'd never. Also, he'd threatened it before, but he'd never pulled the dick out. Right? It wasn't like there was a progression where he'd get his dick out and hold it and go, "Oh, I'm going to piss on you." No, he always kept the dick in the pants, and then this time he got the dick out, and we went, "Oh," and she was like, "Oh, that's a new step," and then urine started to come out.
A lot.
Well, a piss worth. He just woken up. He was sharing a bed with her because he's at her mother's house. He just woken up, so a full night's worth of piss. This isn't going to be a small amount.
So he wakes up in the morning. He sees his mum. He's like, "You know what makes me laugh is threatening to piss."
Yeah, allegedly he was laughing maniacally as the piss came out of his penis.
You've got to get on top of this now because he can't be trained to believe that is any reward for that. What's he going to be like? He's going to be pissing on people at urinals people that used to do that. They piss on your shoes.
No, not me. No one would.
Dude, I remember going to the football, and I'm like, at the public urinal, and there was an old guy next to me, and he was pissing, and I was standing there, and he like maneuvered his wee so his piss hit my shoes, and he was like, like, what the fuck?
That's a power play,
isn't it?
When you were a young kid, were you the kid that pulled the pants all the way down for a piss? That kid,
no.
That was a weird kid.
But let me tell you something about. So Charlie is 4, and he's done that. When I'm going to say even older, 6 or 7, I still feel bad about this. My grandparents, my Croatian grandparents, we went to their house, and my uncle said to me, "You know, it'd be hilarious. What if you go and moon Granddad? Dida, go and show him your ass, like moon him. We'll fight." And I was like, okay. And I remember I ran in and he was sitting down, like eating his fucking borscht with his bread. And I pulled my pants down and just like mooned him. And I was like, "What do you reckon of that?" He got up and the look in his eyes of disrespect, like he felt so disrespected. He chased me and kicked the shit out of me. And I remember being like, I deserve that. Like our relationship was not okay for 2 years because he was like, "Why would you show me your ass?" Jim, today's episode is proudly brought to you by ExpressVPN. I've personally been a user of this for 10 years because you need to be protected on the internet. Going online without ExpressVPN is like leaving your laptop unattended at the coffee shop while you run to the bathroom. Most of the time you're fine, but you don't know what will happen when you come out of the bathroom. Is your laptop gone, or have people implanted something on there, stolen your data, stolen your passwords? Don't be nude on the internet. You can secure your...
Predators aim for the slowest prey. Hackers target people with the weakest security. And if you're not using ExpressVPN, that's you. I've been using ExpressVPN for years. I've currently been touring the UK where some of the sites that I use, you now need a VPN or you have to put your license plate in and stuff like that. Thank you, ExpressVPN, for all you do.
Yes. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/ATM. That's expressvpn.com/ATM to find out how you can get 4 extra months.
I'll tell you why ExpressVPN is the best VPN. Lowest price ever. Plans start at just $3.49 a month. That's only 12 cents a day.
It's
Easy
super
to
secure.
use. Fire up an app, click one button to get protected.
It also works on all devices. So I, as a long-time user of ExpressVPN, have it on my phone, iPad, my laptop. It integrates across all of the different devices that you use, and it's super easy. Even my dad is using it at this point. It's just a touch of a simple button, and it's rated #1 by top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge.
Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/ATM. That's expressvpn.com/ATM to find out how you can get up to 4 months extra. expressvpn.com/ATM. If Charlie pissed on me, there would be a spanking. I haven't spanked him yet, but he'd be cruising for a bruise, and if he fucking pissed on me, but his mother, nothing. I'll tell you. Okay, so when Scott, my brother, got his driver's license, and he's got his shitty $500 Australian car. You know the moment in life, and it's like you just want to go places all the time. So we always would go up to the local fucking gas station and get a Slurpee, or a slushy or whatever they call them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd go, all right, we'll go up and get a Slurpee and all this type of stuff. And then we'd drive, we'd go to the shops, we'd go to McDonald's, we'd go, wherever we could drive, he wanted to drive, Anyway, one Sunday, he goes to me, let's go around. It's Sunday. There'll be a lot of people getting, or it was Saturday. It was a weekend. He goes, I've just seen a wedding up the road. Let's go up there and move them as they're coming out. Oh, yeah, they want to get involved in this, right? Who doesn't want to get involved in this, right? Now, I wish there was a part of the story where my whole life became unraveled and I got in trouble for this. But we mooned one wedding to a whole lot of yelling and abuse and people going, "You fucking little bastards," and stuff like that, right? Then my brother drives away. We were that encouraged by the first one. We drove around Sydney till we found another wedding.
Took you a while as well. That's really giving someone their honeymoon. Come on, folks.
But you got to wait, like why it's in there. You got to wait when they walk out with the rice throwing and all that type of stuff, and then you go, "We're moon ready," because everyone's taking photos, and then it's just a shitty, Holden Gemini drives by with a 13-year-old boy's ass hanging out the window. Good stuff.
I don't think there's a better moment in life than when I had a Suzuki Vitara I got for $500.
Yeah,
and the early days of realizing that you can go to McDonald's whenever you want at any hour. There is no happier moment. Like, you got to give it to McDonald's. Every Australian youth's life is painted with buying McDonald's food and hanging in the car park and just talking to other kids from other schools in the McDonald's car park. It was the greatest.
You would go to McDonald's, you'd park up, you'd buy a thing on a Saturday night if you had no plans, and then you'd wait because no one had everyone's phone. I had like fucking 8 blokes' phone numbers memorized and a landline. There was no mobile. So I'd go with a mate of mine. We'd drive out. We'd go at the gas station, get a Slurpee, or we'd go to McDonald's. And so in the hope that some other car would come up and go, "We're going to a party." And that would be how you get through the grapevine. Yes. And then you go from there. But we didn't have a bigger plan than just standing around a car park and hopefully adventure would come to us.
McDonald's was the true connective tissue of many people's youthful lives. Like, it was the proper meetup. It was cheap.
How much is a soft serve cone at McDonald's in Australia?
30 cents, wasn't it?
30 fucking cents. It might be $1 now, but when I was a kid, 30 fucking cents, and it was 30 cents forever. How much do you think it is in McDonald's LA?
$3 or something?
$2.60.
Yeah, it's absolutely appalling.
And it's still 30 cents. This company has no uniformity about its pricing. It doesn't know what the fuck it's doing.
In fact, I was thinking about that the other day. I was talking to my brother about like when we were happy, because I call my brother to moan.
That's what brothers do. You ring up and you bitch about your parents so that you know that it was a relatable experience that another person went through.
But I was like, when were you happy? Because we're planning things in our lives, and and my brother lives in Canada. I live in Australia, in America, and I'm like, dude, do you know was the happiest day we didn't even realize was, let me take you there. It's Saturday morning. You've just played sports. The game has ended. You've left the change rooms. You're about to go home. There's another, you're with your best mate. You're like, can Sam come to my house? And you talk to his parents. Yeah, he can come to your house. Right. Then he gets dropped off at your house. And then your parents take you to a Blockbuster, and you wander around a Blockbuster for like half an hour, and you get like 2 new releases, 7 weeklies, some video games. The chicken and chip shop was always in the same strip mall. So you got the videos, the games, the chicken and chip stuff, maybe some fucking Cadbury blocks of chocolate. You came back to the house. You watched the movies. You watched the Saturday night football. Dad would come home. Dad was a bit drunk, so he was in a good mood. Dad's 4 beers deep. He's like, give us a go on this fucking controller. He's playing. FIFA's on. And I remember thinking, I can't wait to grow up. How severely wrong I was. How severely wrong I was that it would ever improve.
Okay, this is what you're doing. You're romanticizing 1 or 2 days. You've had some good days. You've had days where you've woken up, you didn't, as an adult, you didn't know what was going to go on, and you've gone out and then you've told some jokes, and then the best looking woman ever is giving you a hand job in the back of a car or something. You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't happening to 13-year-old Amos, right? You've had good days, right?
Well, do you think one day your son will go, I know the good old days when I'd wake up and piss on my mother?
Just a golden shower with mummy.
This is a kinky child, man. You got to get this out of him.
Yeah. So you're remembering a good day from your childhood that you had that day maybe 20 times, right? Maybe 20 times, because you grow out of it. You're too young before then. There's only so many Sundays, you know what I mean, where your mate came over. Like, think about the worst 20 days of your childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to grow up. Can't wait to grow up. Do you remember just that panic of, I've got a big assignment due tomorrow and I've done nothing. I wake up to that looming over you on a fucking.
I wake up to that. I still have this anxiety wake up that I have a paper due for like year 10 geography that I haven't started, and I sometimes do wake up like, fuck.
It never leaves you. Just that constant. And also, look, I've had it with comedy where I've got to write a new show. I haven't written enough of a show, and I'm looking at all my bits and pieces like, this is all shit. But like, at least I enjoy the job, and for the most part, I'm panicking about nothing. When I was in school panicking about an exam or an assignment I haven't done, I wasn't panicking about nothing. I had done no work. I was not ready. That's a terrible feeling.
Do you know what my worst feeling in all schooling was? In my first ever law exam, you're allowed to bring notes in, and I'd done all my notes, and I walked in and I accidentally bumped them off the table, and when they hit the floor, the pin came out of them and they spread everywhere and they weren't numbered. And I spent the first 45 minutes on that trying to put the notes back together, and I'm just having a full mental breakdown.
I'm going to tell you something. I still don't know how to study. My mum would go study, and I'd sit in my room and just sort of masturbate a bit, or like I had porn magazine in me drawer. You want to know why I masturbate a bit when I study? It's the only time my mother knocked and left me alone, because I was in there studying. Right? Well, it's the only time my brothers were told to leave me alone. And so I knew that I'm studying. I got a big exam. It was a lot of masturbating. Horrendous amounts. Scary.
Well, at least you've carried it on. What else is scary is that beard.
Well, I told you I grow the beard out. If you watch my special,
no, I know, but the grey in there, you look like a completely different guy.
Yeah.
You look like the guy that pissed on my feet at the urinal at a football match.
Like father, like son. And I know this is a bit off topic. So when I grow the grey beard, I see my brother Danny in my face. And did you see the clip of the 30 minutes that 60 Minutes did on Max, my nephew, the helicopter accident? So if you haven't seen it, it's on 60 Minutes Australia. Go to 60 Minutes Australia on YouTube. You can watch the footage there. It's It's I just watched it. I was like, when I went on the Theo Vaughn podcast, when I spoke about it on this podcast here, I was always like, they buried the helicopters. And in the back of my brain, I was always like, I hope I've got that information accurate. I hope I'm not saying a half truth. You know what I mean? Like maybe they buried a few helicopters, not all the helicopters. I think it was 48 fucking helicopters have been buried in an undisclosed location by the government. 48. And 60 Minutes going, this is the last Australian taipan. Do you want to know why there's still one left? Because it's in a war museum. It was already in there. There's all the different things that you can walk around and see all the old equipment. I wish they could bury. I reckon they wish they could bury that one as well. But also the top whale helmet with the inverting and stuff. I always got told what happened, and now the actual test pilot explains it. If you want to know anything that happened with that accident, you watch that 60 Minutes. You will be fucking aghast. You know what I mean?
When they told me that, when they said they've buried them all in undisclosed location, why?
Yeah, but okay, 48 helicopters, right? That's paddocks and acres. It's not like a little hole. It's not like, Gavin, get rid of the helicopters, mate. All right, fucking give me a shovel. That is bulldozers. That is hundreds of people working to get that done. That isn't being done by a couple of blokes.
Well, the Prime Minister's on his honeymoon at the moment, so when he gets back, maybe he'll watch the 60 Minutes.
Well, Albo's just got married?
Yeah, he got married this week.
I thought
he's going on a honeymoon.
How is he not married?
No, he just got married, this week to that lady he met in 2020.
Is this his first marriage?
I think it might be. Hey, I think so.
Was he like a single bloke running the country?
Yeah, we had a bachelor running the country.
I've always thought that
maybe he was a divorcee.
Should run the country. Oh, he's a divorcee. Okay.
No, I don't know. I'm good. I know very little about the guy, to be honest. But he's the first Australian Prime Minister to get married on the job. And when they said he's taking we've got world leaders meeting with Putin right now, and our fucking Prime Minister's on a vacation to the Whitsundays or something.
Well, if he's up at the Whitsundays, he can probably find one of the other helicopters. Fucking go out there and look at it, you cunt.
Yeah, I hope that.
How dare they? How fuck? I was watching that report, and I was like, I used to think there was always an element of, maybe it was human error, mate. You watch that fucking 60 Minutes thing, it is completely and utterly a cover-up. And it's 60 Minutes aren't going, and allegedly this happened. And some might say, they're not saying any of that. They go, when your son was killed by faulty, like they're not pulling punches. 60 Minutes have just said, nah, it's all bullshit. Helicopter's fucking buried. And you see, like, there's some of the soldiers had little kids, man, and you fucking and they just covered it up. And it's like, and the government, they go, all the helicopters that are buried in an undisclosed location, and the government hoped that their secrets were buried there as well. Like, that's not mincing fucking words.
No, of course. And we're at a time where we wonder why there's very low trust in government.
So
if you're going to be like, why are people conspiracy theorists? I don't know, burying the helicopters in undisclosed locations to hide evidence of their malfeasance.
And also, it turned out it wasn't even the fucking helicopters; it was the helmets. But they didn't know it was the helmets at the time. They just fucking bury it all. They've still got the fucking.
Can we get a tax credit for the fucking helicopters they wasted? How about that?
Well, did you know that Ukraine asked for them? Ukraine went, "We'll take them," and they went, "Nah." And I always thought, before I watched the 60 Minutes, I always thought it was like 15 helicopters. I didn't know it was in the 40s. It's just so many fucking helicopters. It's like Australia must have no helicopters right now.
We've probably gone back to Black Hawks or something like that. Speaking of war and the Ukraine, Vladimir Putin says he is ready for war with Europe right now.
He says if Europe wants to go, let's fucking go. Like that, right?
That's what he said. They're fucking shaping up.
There's a bit of me that I feel like Putin needs to get his ass kicked. And I feel like if all of Europe gets together, they will do that. You don't like loss of life, but this whole idea of We had like a week ago, we were told that the Ukraine and Russia were very close to a peace agreement.
Well, they are. They're meeting now with Witkoff and Kushner. So no doubt Kushner's trying to find some hotel space in the Donbass.
What's is that the place where Trump got pissed on?
There'll be a Donbass golf course for sure coming soon. But whatever it takes to get a peace deal, they are meeting at this moment. So hopefully we'll see an end to that conflict. There you go. Look at that. It worked the title in. Another Russian story, which I think illustrates a point that I think has worried me for a long time about modern cars. This is why you want an old car.
Right.
You want an old car because all modern cars can be turned off. Not a good thing if you're an experienced person. So Russian Porsche owners, cars have now been immobilized across the country with deliberate satellite interference feared. So hundreds and thousands of Russian Porsche owners have found their cars are being turned off. And the Russians believe that the Porsche company is essentially fucking with them and their customers over there because they've stopped dealing with Russians. They don't have that anymore.
I don't believe that after you purchase something and something's under your possession that the company should be able to turn it off. But then you're getting into, because it's computers, it's kind of weird. It's a weird thing because it's computers.
I have no interest in a car that is a computer. You know what I mean? You just want it to be a combustion engine because the fact it is so scary to know that you can speak out against, let's say, you speak out against the government. Let's say, okay, the people that don't like Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk decides that you've done something wrong and he has power in the government. And it's like, we're shutting off their Teslas.
I'll tell you something.
Or we're worried about climate change and this person's been driving too much, so we're turning your car off. You don't get to drive your car. Sorry.
I'll tell you something about the Romanians in the small amount of time I've been here, and I'm only on night 2, but I've been in about 5 vehicles. They don't like a seatbelt. Fuck, they get angry at the idea of a seatbelt. The guy who picked us up from the airport just sat in the front chair with a seatbelt alarm going bah, 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 the whole time. It was his seat. The rest of us all had their fucking seatbelts on. Every Uber I've gotten in, the seatbelts are all already clicked in. The guy clicks them into each fucking seat so you don't get the burr, burr, burr because the passengers won't fucking do it up. No, they give fuck all about seatbelts.
That's true freedom. True freedom.
They really
help me up.
Most free people in the world.
If you want to watch something fascinating, ATM listeners, I've got a big passion for Romania, but you want to see Nicholas Ceausescu's last ever speech. It's one of the great YouTube watches. You know, when you have a party and you've got 4 lads around and it's late and you get trading YouTube videos, I get that one up a lot. The sheer terror of Ceausescu when his regime collapses and he gets into the helicopter only to be murdered against the wall.
You actually see him get murdered?
Yeah, they've got you can see the bullet marks in the wall. They put him up against the wall and they blew their brains out. And that was the end of Nicholas Ceausescu. And I went to Brasov, and I was going to recommend you go there. We won't have enough time, but Brasov is where Vlad Tepes, aka Dracula, is all about. That's Dracula's castle.
So Transylvania is up the road, right?
Yeah, so you go to this town called Brasov, and so it's the story there, I suppose, is based on this guy called Vlad Tepes, who was a guy that was fighting against the Ottoman Empire, and he would get all the entrails and the blood of all of his enemies and make it line the roads. He was like a very feared ruler. And his castle is supposedly the home of Dracula. And anyway, I went there and they still sell pictures of Ceausescu, the dictator, on the side of the road. We had a magnet.
We had a driver go, if you do not visit Transylvania, Dracula will come and get you. That's obviously what he says to foreigners.
But yeah, no, very cool country. Now, I want to do a couple more stories for you. Obviously, we've done Putin, Porsche, so Porsches, buy old cars.
Do something light.
Here's a Trump thing.
Yeah.
Did you see the Dell family, Michael and Susan Dell?
Are they the people who make the computers?
The laptop company, yes. Have pledged $250 million into this new Trump baby fund. Have you heard of the Trump baby fund?
No, I have not heard of the Trump baby. What's the Trump baby fund?
Okay, so the federal government is gifting $1,000 to babies born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028. The money will be put into an indexed investment account. And it's only for people who live in zip codes where the median income is below 150,000. But the Dell family's put 250 million into this account, and they say it will go to 225 million kids. So
Okay,
if
on face value, I think this sounds like a good idea, but I don't like it when it involves postcodes and stuff like that. Have you ever tried to get your child into a school and you're not in the encatchment, you're one road over? Or back in the days when you tried to get a Domino's pizza, just as difficult. And Domino's would be like, whereabouts do you live? And you'd say the street, and you'd hear this, nah. And you're like, I'll pay a bit extra. It's just, you're right. You know what I mean?
I remember you would go and meet them somewhere. You'd tell them to drop it at a place and you'd meet them
You'd go
halfway.
to a park. You'd go to a park
Yeah.
and you're in the side. And there was no like fucking looking at your phone, looking at an app and looking at a little car travel. You didn't know what the bloke would look like. And you just like, I'll meet you at this park. And you just stood there. Plenty of times, like the same thing when we used to go to car parks and eat McDonald's. Sometimes you'd want a Domino's pizza and you'd order a pizza and you'd have the cash. Like it was a real thing. Do you remember like when you think of food apps now and they pay for it and this and they try to upsell you and all that type of stuff. Do you remember back in the day just people sending pizzas to other people's houses to be an asshole?
Like, as a prank. Yeah, free food as a prank.
How many pizza companies fucking lost loads of cash because of that? Like, I'll send 20 fucking pizzas to some fucking girl who dumped me, you know?
Oh, right. Of course, because I get it now because there is no. Yes, they took all this on spec.
Yeah, they just assume.
They should have to know your number.
You could ring up. They couldn't trace your number. You were just a voice on the phone who told a bloke with a pad your address, and then they had to believe you. And you could order 30 pizzas. They didn't give a fuck.
Hey, you gotta say I wonder if pizza revenue's down now that everyone gets to deliver because they had the market completely cornered. It was the only delivered food.
Oh, there must be some stuff. Well, we had. Then they brought in for a while there in Sydney. They brought in Diamond Chopsticks, right? And Diamond Chopsticks had the can music as their theme song. Diamond Chopsticks, we deliver to your door. Diamond Chopsticks, 966604. Diamond Chopsticks, like this, right? So very Asian-y type of music, right? And what the plan with Diamond Chopsticks was, you rang up, you could only order the classics: Mongolian beef, sweet and sour pork, honey chicken, whatever. You can only order ones that everyone knew: fried rice, spring rolls, whatever. And then Diamond Chopsticks was just a call center that rang up your local Chinese and told them to send it to you. Genius. Anyway, so you've got kids getting $1,000 each. You know the problem is.
I found this out, by the way, because my brother-in-law just had his baby. So congrats to Henry and Olivia. They've got their new baby, Carl.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations! Congratulations.
Yes. And in the family group chat, someone posted this and said, our zip code is eligible for the 1,000. So,
yeah, if you live in Kankakee near the steel mill,
Kankakee, Illinois, so the baby's going to get $1,000.
I think they don't know if you own the steel mill or you're one of the people who works in the steel mill.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's for you guys, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Take it.
Now, this fucking child now has a bigger investment portfolio in America than me. That's
okay.
humbling.
So that $1,000 has to sit there till they're 18.
Yes.
Okay. By the time they're 18, conservatively, that's going to be worth $12,000.
Depending on, unless we have a full economic wipeout before then, but
12,000 would be about right. It's not going to double every year.
Do you know what would be amazing? That would be like, I wouldn't be surprised knowing the Trump administration and that.
I've had stocks for 12 years that have not gone fucking double or anything.
I'm going to want to see the fine print on this because it'll be an index fund, but I guarantee you the companies it being invested in will be Dell fucking computers. I guarantee you're going to see an index fund that has Dell, Trump Resorts will be in the index.
What have you invested in? I've got a
Kushner Consulting
gun on the back of an eagle.
There is no way there's not going to be completely loaded with, dude, it's, you know what's going to be? You go, this kid will turn 18 and go, I've got $20,000 of my pillow.
In a pillow.
I guarantee you, dude, it's going to be Tesla, my pillow, Dell Computers, and Trump Resorts. It's called the MAGA pack, the MAGA hedge fund.
And gold-plated coins.
And survival food.
These are limited coins, limited to how many we can sell. Get in now.
Okay, last topic, and this one goes to Europe. Obviously, the IRA holds a special place in modern people's... Young people seem to love the IRA.
We remember the good old days of the IRA. They used to ring you up and go, you have 10 minutes to leave the building. And then
you were around for the Troubles?
Well, I was of age. I wasn't living in the UK when the Troubles happened, but I lived in Manchester where they blew up an entire area of Manchester. And the people of Manchester are pretty happy about it because they got a shopping mall. I think everyone got out in time, so no one got killed, and they got a brand new shopping mall. So they were sort of over the moon about the whole thing.
Right.
But
well, so the IRA, like I've seen it with Kneecap and a lot of resistance movements, and particularly with the Free Palestine stuff. The Irish have this bond with, basically independence movements. So we've seen that for a long time. The IRA's come back as like this cool thing for the youth. Anyway, I've got some friends from Cork who told me, and I thought they were just, you know how the Irish get, they're telling some fucking yarns. It's a lot of my uncles and this are in this IRA.
Things that we did and the door. Yeah.
Mate, my family, unbelievably savage, like, fighting.
They fought all the way back with Michael Collins, all that business. So this guy was telling me, he said his mates on the ground in Cork and in Belfast were very unhappy with migration levels to Ireland. Okay, in the same way that the UK is going through theirs, and Europe, where they're saying.
So let's just stop you just quickly there. Migration into Ireland. How many Irish people do you meet abroad for that little tiny fucking? You go. There's not a stop-go woman in Sydney who isn't Irish. They're fucking everywhere. The Irish. That's why everyone can get Irish passports because I'm 35% Irish, right? The Irish. Every American claims to be Irish. Everywhere you go, there's an Irish pub. They are the most represented people around the world for the size population they are. And
that's right, because of the famine.
Because people are coming there now. You don't want this to come here.
Well, and there's a lot of people in small towns, etc. They talk about, the town is now exclusively people from the Middle East or Africa and these small towns, hotels. Anyway, it's become a big topic in Ireland. Obviously, that's why Conor McGregor was saying he's throwing his hat in the ring, and then it's like the topic. So there's
in Ireland.
Look at this.
On December 12th, come and see me in Dublin. Amos will be with me in Dublin. Are you with me in Dublin?
I am with you in Dublin, and I'm doing my own show afterwards as well at some point, which will be for sale. But I want to play you this new video, which is scaring a lot of people, anyone who remembers the Troubles. Here's 3 men in balaclavas and pistols and looks like a machine gun. Do you see that?
Yeah, ready to go.
Okay. Listen to this.
To the people of Newry, Mourne and Down, we, the New Republican Movement, have watched their councillors and MLAs over the past 12 months. The level of disrespect.
Way, but turn it so we can see it. You've got to face it.
To the people of Newry, Mourne and Down, we, the New Republican Movement, have watched their councillors and MLAs over the past 12 months. The level of disrespect shown to the people who put you into power, this cannot be ignored any longer. We are proud men of Ireland. We are patriots. Your policies and decision-making in regards to flooding our communities with undocumented military-aged men is not acceptable. We will not sit back any longer and watch our culture and religion destroyed by the people we put in power. Also, the sexual indoctrination of our children in schools has not went unnoticed either. The New Republican Movement will take immediate action against anyone who threatens our ways of life and the safety of our women and children. We have your addresses and known your movements. Every one of you are legitimate targets as of today. The New Republican Movement, the 28th of 11/25.
So we have your addresses. We have your addresses. No, you don't. Tell the truth. We can get your addresses very easily. We
It
haven't
can't be
put
that high. We know a lot of people.
it just yet, but we will in the future. We'll check the internet, the phone book, if it still exists.
The good thing about the new IRA is they don't even have to change the songs, because the old IRA was like, we hate the black and tan, and the new IRA hates people from Africa, so they're like, we hate the blacks and tans.
Don't say black. We
hate those blacks and tans. Come out and fight us like a man.
You had that in your back pocket all podcast. You've been waiting
Mate,
to fucking throw that one
that
down, haven't you? Geez, you've been overexcited about it.
Woo!
I've been touring with Andrew Maxwell, who's an Irishman, and I think, look, those three lads there, right, with the balaclavas and the guns and the blokes sitting at the desk going, "We will not have." They weren't titans of industry in Ireland. They weren't Ireland's greatest blokes. They're not like bank managers and stuff like that. They're unemployed blokes with too much time on their hands.
With the pistol.
Yeah. We'll do what we can. I don't think one of those guys would do a starvation thing in prison where they just sit there with shit smeared on the walls like the proper IRA people.
But it's really interesting too, because I'm so used to seeing videos like that with the sword and like the Arabic writing, you know, and it's like, it's nice to see it. It's back with the Irish flag.
This is the thing as well. You don't know under the balaclavas what nationality they are. They might just be some Asian blokes putting on a voice.
Oh, you think they're recent migrants teeing up like phony hate crimes? You're saying they're like Jussie Smollett's?
They're Jesse Smollett's. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Jesse O. Smollett?
Yeah.
Jesse O. Smollett.
I don't like what's been going on in my country. He's a good actor, Jesse Smollett. He can do it. He can pull it off.
So that's what we're walking into with Ireland. But listen, you know, I'll talk about this to anyone while I'm blue in the face. Yes, insane levels of...
Till I'm blue in the face. Not while I'm blue in the face. While you're blue in the face means you're suffocating from talking too much and
I keep going. and even though it's killing me, I still have to say it. But yeah, I don't think any country's crazy shit hot about the fucking sex ed lessons that kids are getting about gender. And there has been an overreach of bizarre cultural leftism that is making a snapback that's not good.
Look, I agree. I agree with this one. I've seen it happen firsthand. There has been an overreach with the schools and how much they're talking about. See, what I don't like is at the schools they're like this. You might be bisexual. You might be this. You might be this. You might be that. You might be trans. You might be whatever. And then like the kids my son's age and that, a lot of them are like thinking, oh, I might be a bisexual, I might be gay, right? There's no might about it. You either are or you aren't. I never struggled with being a heterosexual. It was an urge that I couldn't control.
It's funny because when it's introduced to kids, and we've seen it, and when this is not two dudes talking out of our ass. No, you've got kids in school, and I've got a brother and sister who are 10 and 11, and we're talking about in a class of 100, at least like more than 10 are like, yeah, I'm this. And they're like 10-year-old kids. And then they go, nah, I'm not actually. I don't know. It's just introduced to me. And all I can think is uniformity when you're young is actually good. It's not a bad thing. It's just another thing to be bullied about. And that's why I liked having a uniform of like, make less choices. You're still figuring out the world. You don't really know what you are. You shouldn't have to announce yourself as anything at an age like that. You're discovering your preferences on everything.
What you need to learn is tolerance of others, right? You need to learn tolerance of others. You need to learn, okay, when it comes to sex and all that type of stuff, teach them, put on condoms, teach them consent, and this is how you do it, and try to be responsible and don't get someone pregnant. The end, right? Yeah. But this whole what gender you might be or whatever, if the kid has an issue, they'll voice it. They're not like, don't be afraid to say something, I guess. But this whole idea, they're asking the kids what they are in class. I don't want my kid to be anything at fucking 10. I don't want my kid to be anything. Just teach them the fucking birds and the bees and fuck off.
There's every chance that if I was at school, being the little show-off that I would have been like, I'm demisexual.
Mate, I would starve for attention and wanting to feel special. And also, I've said this before, my mother had Munchausen's, This is not no ifs or buts. My mother, right up until the fucking end, my mother had Munchausen. Right up until the fucking last breath she ever breathed.
Hey, I saw the size of that woman. She kept munching in the house, that's for sure.
My mother you're speaking about. Anyway, so my mother, right up to the end, told me that my father had dementia. Your father has dementia. She was doing it to him. She's been dead for fucking 6 years. The cunt remembers more than me. He's got no dementia. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him. I thought he was dying of dementia.
Dude, she maybe was slipping him supplements to make him seem dopey.
Look, he's not Einstein, but he wasn't in his fucking...
No, he's not Einstein.
You know what I mean? But his stupidity hasn't increased.
Do you think your mum could have trained your father to believe that he was a repressed bisexual?
My mother wanted a daughter, and that's the only reason I was born, right? She wanted a daughter. When I didn't come out as a daughter, she didn't didn't undo the nappy and wouldn't hold me for several days because she was depressed. If she knew there was a way to change my gender at a young age, we might have had a problem.
Well, it wouldn't have been a problem. You'd have a beautiful modern man-made pussy.
Well, I don't.
And you'd be.
Mate,
you know what would have happened? You and Hannah Gadsby would have been friends.
Maybe good friends.
Great friends. You would have got on her Netflix special.
That's why my beard's gone great.
Think about the different trajectory of your life. Well, anyway, that's what's happening right now. Godspeed.
I also want to say I'm not putting any hate out there for any trans kids. I'm not putting any hate out there for people who are struggling in this world, who are having a bit of problems or whatever. I'm not putting any hate out for bisexuals and gay people and all that type of stuff. I'm just saying let people find this shit out on their own. You know, the kids my son's age who are saying they're bisexual or they're, you know, all right. I don't know.
And you know what? Even if they are, there's soon to be pills to be increasing your tolerance on that.
And also, wait till you're in fucking college. Give it a go in college. See how you go. You like I'll tell you this much about being bisexual or whatever. One cock in your mouth, you'll find out pretty quick.
I had a good friend who did that. You know what he said to me? He goes, I don't believe that. He goes, I don't believe you should just say that you're straight until you've sucked one dick or had your dick sucked. He goes, so I gave it a go. And he goes, and the moment that guy put his dick in my mouth, I was very, very, very confident that I am a true heterosexual.
Right.
And he goes, I'm braver than you. He goes, you don't know. He goes, I know. That's how I know I'm straighter than you, because I tried cock and didn't like it. You might still like it. So you're gayer than me.
I feel like this guy's making a play. So I'll put my cock in your mouth and we'll see if you are. And then we'll be a couple of heterosexuals.
If you don't let me put my dick in your mouth, I'll be telling everyone you're a homosexual because you're a coward. All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow in Bucharest, and we'll see the rest of you on our European tour. But until then, hang in there, Venezuelan fishermen.
Peace out. Hold on to those bits of boat. Try to keep your head under the water for a few minutes. Don't wave. Whatever you do, don't wave. You reckon there's one Venezuelan fisherman that's like, no, this was a bad day for me to wear fluoro?
Dude, to look up and there's a helicopter and Arthur, the kid's character, has a bazooka. It's Pete Hegseth dressed as Arthur shooting you. What a fucking psycho. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.